How are we doing, people? Welcome back to Jimmy Case TV and a case for the Blues. It's that time of the week where we do the weekly transfer update and we talk about all the news, rumours and speculation surrounding Chelsea Football Club over the last week or so. We've got two Fabrizio Romano here we goes in there over the last week, which we'll touch on. We'll also touch on some of our rival clubs and their rumours and their speculation surrounding their clubs. But before we do, if you could leave a like on the video, trust me, it does go a long way for the channel. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. I've got some personal goals of trying to get this channel to 150 before the season starts. And if you tuned in on Saturday, you'll know that we've got this new goal of within 7 years getting 183k. It's a big number, but we want to achieve it so we can tell the Tottenham fans we were bigger than their channel. So if you can help me, that would be brilliant. Again, the normal weekly disclaimer, I'm not this ITK, the new buzzword for in the know, meaning I don't have any inside knowledge or special breaking news or, have links to this agent or this club that can give me first-hand dibs on any transfer news. None of that. We'll be just talking about all the rumours that have been circulating around social media, on the radio and gossip, basically. So the two big ones that have come out of Chelsea over the last week has been Jamie Gittens signing for Chelsea for £55 million, whilst apparently rejecting Bayern Munich. Whether we know if that's true or not is another question. Just remember, a lot of these are rumours and speculation. Might not be any concrete facts behind it. And obviously, Joao Pedro links heated up during the week, and quickly we got the job done. Newcastle apparently coming in for him as well during the week. Apparently, he's rejected them, and he's signed for Chelsea. And now that's what you call pull. If you're being honest, that's what you call pull. I mean, we've just won another European Cup. Now, it ain't the one with the big ears, but I can imagine they're just sending them like a little FaceTime and going, look at this, and just going through the trophy cabinet and going, this could all be you. Do you know what I mean? And they're going to Newcastle's going, yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? So I get that one. Bayern Munich one's a bit different. So, Jamie Gittens is obviously attracted to coming back to London and living the London life. So anyway, both transfers don't necessarily excite me, if I'm being honest. It's not like there's a huge buzz about these players. It doesn't scream we've got Champions League football and now we've got these targets. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that they're not good players. We've seen Joao Pedro in the Premier League and what he's done. I mean, he hasn't exactly lit it up, but the reality is, I will need to see these players in the team before I can start getting excited about them. And I will say, although it looks like another Joe Shields Man City Academy signing in Joe Gittens, we did get Palmer, Lavia and Tosin from that. It's a bit too early to say anything about the lap, and I'm happy with that. So hopefully Gittens can come in and have the same impact. And with Joao Pedro, we thank Brighton every single day for Cucurella and Caicedo. Every single day. So again, I hope he can come in and have the same impact. And if he does, we won't be complaining at all, let's be honest. But yeah, although it's not the big name signings like Chelsea fans are probably expecting, even myself expecting after getting Champions League football, your Kvaratskhelia, your Rodrigos, they're here now. So we'll have to get behind the players, pause. But yeah, on Gittens, we've got to look at it this way. We definitely needed a left wing option. With Mudryk out, Sterling set to leave, and Sancho back at United, I think it was a necessity for us to sign a left wing. Whether or not Gittens is that guy, who knows? But apparently Enzo Maresca has had quite a big involvement in these two targets. So, in my opinion, the fee is quite high. Now, I'm pretty sure before the Club World Cup, we were talking about signing him for £42 million. Now we're in the Club World Cup, we've paid a fee of 55 million. So for me, that doesn't make no sense. It seems like we're overpaying again, if you ask me. So I'm expecting something from Gittens. I'm expecting him to be better than Mudryk, which ain't hard. Offer more than Sancho, which again, I don't think is hard. And offer more than Sterling, which is definitely not hard. So if he comes to the club and offers something on that left wing that we've been missing, then I don't think, I think that will go down well if he can do that. But obviously the pressure's going to be on straight away because of the fee that we signed him for. Now, Chelsea fans are getting frustrated because they're not the names that they want. And, it feels like we're just buying players that ain't readily made, that can come in and have an instant impact. But we don't know what we're going to get with Jamie Gittens. So for me, I'm going to wait till he gets into the team and we see him play before I start getting excited, With Joao Pedro, I did question where he will play because we're absolutely stacked going forward. But he's another one of these hybrid players, which is another new term for, well, I would just call it a versatile player who can play in many different positions. You know, he can play striker, second striker, left wing. And talking to some Chelsea fans, they actually believe that he's going to be a genuine competition for Nicholas Jackson, who has also been linked with a move away recently after his red card and him letting down the team once again with his stupidity, which just kind of proves that he doesn't seem to be learning his lesson. So I can kind of get it if Chelsea are getting frustrated and they want to bring Pedro in to replace him. I would understand it because he is frustrating. But let's see. But I'm not going to lie, it's one that, you know, that Joao Pedro one is one that I've never really been sure about. Even when it was linked quite a while back, and I've never really been sure about it. I thought we should have been aiming higher. But for me, I think both of them are still quite interesting signings, you know. Joao Pedro is Premier League proven. He's played quite a few games in the Premier League. I think he's played like 89 games in the Premier League. I think Gittens has played something like 90 games in the Bundesliga. So, you know, they've got some experience behind them. Do you know what I'm saying? But again, like I said, Joao Pedro hasn't really lit the Premier League up. He's only got 22 goals and 10 assists in those 89 games. So it's one of them ones, you know, like I said, it doesn't really excite me, but I also believe that there's part of Enzo Maresca has had something to do with this. And that input, it makes me feel like Enzo Maresca is about to try something different next season, which is quite exciting. And if it's anything like we did against Benfica, because I thought we was absolutely brilliant against them, then I'm all for it, you know. And that kind of leads me on to some of our other links, you know, one in particular that apparently we're now supposedly focused on securing a deal for Mohamed Kudus, which, wow, I mean, if we get that one, then, you know, that's a definite Premier League proven player. Although he didn't have, you know, the Premier League season that he expected last year, we know what this player can do. And there's definitely a buzz around this player. Apparently Tottenham also linked with him. Yeah, okay. And sorry. But we know what this guy is capable of. And, you know, I've heard that to get the deal done, that maybe we might have to sell Madueke, which, you know, for me is a little bit of I've got a little soft spot for Madueke. I do feel like he's a good player for us. And I do feel like there's one who is slowly developing. But on the other side of the coin, if we're bringing in a Kudus who is going to come in, he's going to be a better player than Madueke straight away, in my opinion. So we would be upgrading in that position if we did get Kudus. And again, he's another player that can play out on the right, play in the middle. I don't know if he's actually played up top for West Ham. In fact, I might get that up and see if I can just quickly. Let me just quickly see if I can get it up on Transfer Market and see if he has. I don't recall him ever playing up top for. What's it doing? Yeah, I don't recall him ever playing up top for West Ham. But it'll be interesting to see if he has played any games there as well. 24 years of age, bloody hell, he's old for us, isn't he? Okay, now. Apparently he's available for 60 million, which is, you know, still quite expensive. So no, he has apparently plays right winger, attacking midfielder, and left winger. So again, another one of these players that can come in and just play all the way across that front three. So you can see what we're trying to do. And I saw something today online about how we're trying to do this second striker option, which would mean Joao Pedro would fit in quite nicely. So it's interesting. It's one to watch out for, in my opinion. For me, Kudus, I think that will be the one that excites everyone. And then when you see Kudus, Gittens, and Joao Pedro coming in, you're starting to think, okay, we're really switching this up now. But at the same time, you've got to start thinking about, well, who's going then? They're talking about like they're open for offers for Madueke. What does this do for Kendry Paez? What does this do for Esteval? We've got Quenda coming in within the next 2 years. Well, he's not next year, the year after, like end of next year. So what does it do for all of these players if we keep signing players? So one to watch out for again. After them ones, well, let's just go through the rumours speculation around over the last week. Some that I just think are wishy-washy little transfer news, is nothing behind it. So after obviously we played Flamengo, we was linked to the right back Wesley after they beat us in the Club World Cup. Again, don't really think there's any much concrete news in that. I don't really think that's something that we're going to be exploring. I haven't seen anything else. There was a link to Carlo Moane in there. That's why he's down on the bottom of the screen. Please no. Please no. He's going to be expensive. And if you want another Nicholas Jackson, there's your man. We've seen that he crumbles under pressure. No, just don't go into it. Not at all. Mike Magnan in the bottom of the screen there. Apparently, we've pulled out of the deal completely. We're not looking to re-enter talks. Whether or not that means that we're now going to try and get him on a free is another question. But I'll be honest with you, if we don't upgrade on Sanchez, I am going to kick off. I promise you I'm going to kick off because I'm getting sick to death of this goalkeeper. You saw him the other day roll it out to their striker. My God, we cannot be doing this all season, every single game, waiting for that mistake. We cannot be doing that. I can't have it. According to Football Italia, we were pushing hard to sign Bastoni. Don't think that's realistic, I'll be honest with you. And I think they'll be demanding a massive fee for him. So can't see that happening, but that was one of the rumours that were out there. And again, the links of what's his name? Alessandro Garnacho. Is that his name? I can't even remember his name. Garnacho. Them links to Garnacho resurfaced last week with reports that Christopher Nkunku might go the other way to Manchester United. Now, I feel like Nkunku's playing his heart out in this competition at the moment. If you see him play the other day, I thought he actually played well. I think he played well in the game before that, and I thought he played well when he came on the other day. So, I don't know. There's a player in Nkunku. If we can, if Enzo Maresca can get the best out of that player, he will feel like a new signing. So I'm a little bit torn because I feel like he's starting to put a little bit of effort in. And I know he hasn't lit it up. And I know he's only scored one goal. But there's been 2 games of improvement in there. Maybe I'm getting gassed. We've seen a whole season of shit from him. But I'm telling you now, if Enzo Maresca can get something out of this player, we won't need to sell him. And he will be like a new signing. So I'm hoping, me personally, I'll be honest with you, I'm hoping that Nkunku can stay and integrate into this system and play well for us. If he can't, move him on. Saying that, if he was to get sold, I don't actually think I would care, if I'm honest with you. So although I'm saying, I want him to do this, I want him to do well. Again, if he did actually go, sweating like a pig here, so what? If he did actually go, I don't think I'd care. I don't think I'd care. It came out during the week as well that the deal for goalkeepers is looking unlikely this summer. So automatically I'm kicking off because we've got Robert Sanchez in goal. But then I also saw links to Ter Stegen, which made no sense. So again, this is why I don't get excited by a lot of these links. And I think, you know what, we'll just talk about them as they come along. Obviously, the Mike Maignan and Ter Stegen links, if we signed any of them, I'll definitely take them. 100% definitely take them over Rob Sanchez. So for me personally, if those are really true, concrete rumours, go for it. Just get them done. And the Mike Maignan one now, I don't see why we're not doing it. If we can spend £55 million on Gittens, which was overpriced, let's be honest, and we could spend 60 million on Pedro, I think it is, why can't we spend 25 million on a goalkeeper that's going to come in and start for us? And we would probably get money back for Sanchez. I heard he was linked to West Ham. So surely West Ham would sign him for at least 25 million, which is what we bought him for. And then that will cover the Maignan deal. So, yeah, links to the Watermaid. Watermaid, is that his name? Nicholas Watermaid? Can't remember his name. Hold on, let's get his name up. Is it Nick Watermaid? What's his name? Why do I forget everybody's fucking name? I can't even say where's his name? It's not even coming up. Nick Watermaid. The fuck is that? Nick Watermaid. Yeah, it was. I was right. I was correct. Yeah, Nick Watermaid. So links to Nick Watermaid have obviously finished. Apparently, he's signing for Bayern Munich. Again, I spoke about it last week. He just looked exciting on the YouTube clips. I'm not going to lie. Seen him a couple of times play for the under-21s. Big striker, very good feet, can finish. He can fucking finish, trust me. So that one's dead in the water. That won't be happening. That's gone. Especially after signing Joao Pedro. I can't see any other transfer links for a striker. But saying that, I did see that apparently we are still in for another striker. Hugo Ekitike apparently was still on our radar. Now, that's a very expensive signing. So I don't know about this one. I don't know whether that's going to happen. I don't know whether that's going to progress. Joao Pedro, obviously being a striker, a second striker, and we've got Jackson and we've got Delap. I can't see it. We've got players there that can play there. You know what I'm saying? So, do we need him? Obviously, he's got a big name for himself. He's got a big hype around him. A lot of other clubs are interested in him, so he obviously shows that he is good. Would I say? I don't know. If you want my honest opinion about Hugo Ekitike, I don't know whether we should sign him or not. Me, I'd rather focus on a centre back, a goalkeeper, maybe backup left back. I don't know what's going on with Viega, and then I think that should be it. But for Rizzo Romano, even after these two, here he goes, has also come out and said we're not done yet. Apparently, we're still looking at another winger, which surely that's Kudus, and a centre back. Please be Bastoni. Please. It ain't going to be Bastoni, but please be Bastoni. But let's see what develops out of that. Could it be Mark Gay? I heard that he's turned down Arsenal for obvious reasons. He's not going to start. If he goes to Arsenal, I can't see him starting over Gabriel and Saliba. So maybe he's waiting for Liverpool. Who knows, depending on what's going on with Konate. But anyway, in terms of the outgoings for Chelsea, we've come out and said over the last week or so that Nico Jackson is not for sale. But in the same breath, I've also seen links away from the club. I've seen him linked to Galatasaray. I've seen him linked to Arsenal over the last couple of days now. Whether or not that's true, might be people, rage baiting, trying to get a bite out of Arsenal fans. Probably. Who knows? Again, I've no concrete backing behind that. No official bids, nothing out there to say that this is something that they're really looking at. One of the ones that we are looking at that I think there is a little bit of a backing to is these links from Arsenal for Noni Madueke. Now, a lot of people will say, yeah, fuck off, that's rage baiting. But apparently it's coming out that Arteta is actually a fan of Noni now. He likes the way that he plays. For me, well, my opinion, I actually think that would be a good deal for Arsenal because you get your right winger back up for Saka, and it's a decent, someone that can come on and make an impact in a game. I think he would do well as a sub coming on for Arsenal. And I like the way he plays. And all he needs is to improve his all-roundness. And he might get that by working underneath Arteta or a new coach, for example. So for me, obviously, I'm not an Arsenal fan. Arsenal fans are saying, no, get rid of him. He's a bum and all this. For me, I think that's a good deal for Arsenal. Obviously, I'm going to say that. But I don't actually want to get rid of him. So whether or not you want him is another question. Obviously, there's the Nkunku link to Manchester United that doesn't seem to be going away. But nothing real, no bids, no nothing. I haven't really seen anything. It only ever seems to be in a deal with Garnacho. Now, I'm hoping we don't go anywhere near Garnacho. So let's see how that one develops. Obviously, I said Rob Sanchez was linked to West Ham. And it come out last week. This one made me laugh. Josh Akinpong linked to Dortmund. Yeah, right. If we there's no way we're going to... I say no way. It's very hard to trust the Chelsea board at the moment and what they're doing with our players and who they're selling. But I can't see that one happening. There's no way that we would let him go to Dortmund. Maybe on a loan, but to sell, no way. I want 60, 70 million. You know what I mean? Everyone else is chucking in massive fees for us. I want 70 million for this player. You know what I'm saying? Even Nicholas Jackson, I want fucking 100 million. If Hugo Ekitike is valued at 100 million, I want Nicholas Jackson for 100 million. So Arsenal, if you want him, you better pay up. There's also rumours coming out today that Anselmino, may be loaned out to Real Betis. So look out for that one. And other than that, don't really recall any more links or outgoings for Chelsea Football Club. Now, obviously, we need to get rid of people. We've got a squad that is fucking stacked to the brim. You're looking at your Sterlings, your Chukwuemeka's, your Ukchukwu. I'm sorry if I'm getting these names wrong. I'm really bad with names. We got Brozier in the team still. Ben Chilwell in the team still. You know, all these players that we really should be getting rid of. You know what I'm saying? So I'd imagine, obviously, it's the 1st of July tomorrow. I'd imagine that with PSR resetting, a lot of clubs are going to start making moves. I reckon a lot of clubs will probably announce a lot of signings tomorrow. So I think it's all going to kick off tomorrow. Obviously, Chelsea are doing their usual and getting things done quite quickly. But we're not the only ones. Obviously, let's talk about some of our rival clubs. Arsenal, for example. Partey left the club today, which is, you know, for me, I think that's the wrong decision from Arsenal. I think they should have re-signed him. Yes, I know that he's asking for more wages. He's got an injury record. Apparently, the big sticking point was the length of the deal. He wanted a 3-year deal and they was only willing to offer a 2, and he wouldn't budge on it. So maybe it was the right decision from the club. But I've had this discussion with my pals. I feel like Arsenal have just lost a big part of their squad depth, even though they've brought in Zubimendi, who's obviously signed over the last week or so. And the latest here we go from them is Norgard signing for 11 million from Brentford. I kind of feel like Norgard's a good squad signing. I don't think anyone will disagree with that. But obviously with Jorginho leaving and Partey leaving, I had this debate. I felt like with Jorginho leaving, you want to bring someone in with the same attributes that he brings to the squad. His passing, his reading of the game, his ability to dictate play, etc., etc. Now, obviously, Jorginho's legs had gone, but you don't lose that ability as a player. So although he wasn't the player he was at Chelsea, we know this. But his type of profile, you'd think you'd replace him with that. And I had a little bit of a debate that, all they've done is replace, some ability, footballing ability, with some athleticism, and some stamina and some legs. And the thing is, Norgard's not a young player either. He's 31, turning 32. But 11 million, the transfer fee, is decent. So how that fares for Arsenal, it's not my business at the end. They don't really give a shit. Hope it all goes wrong. But in my opinion, I slightly feel like, they haven't really added to that midfield or improved it. All they've done is just, if you get what I'm saying, he's gone, pieced that one in. We don't know what we're going to get from Zubimendi. Everybody's gassing him up. We don't know what we're going to get out of him from the Premier League. So look out for that one. Their fans are still pushing the Rodrigo links. I haven't seen anything since for many of the big accounts that, they're actually linked to him. I see people getting gassed that, Real Madrid have come out and said that if a player don't want to be here, they can leave. So somehow they put 2 and 2 together. That means Rodrigo's going to Arsenal. Can't make it up. Sesko deal stalling, apparently due to issues over his contract demands. Apparently he's demanding quite a lot, and apparently there's a £10 million gap between the two clubs' valuation of the player. Now, I heard that he's demanding some really strange things, and it kind of comes across that he's using Arsenal as a stepping stone. Apparently he wants a release clause in there and all sorts. So fair play. If I'm Arsenal, I'll be telling him, nah, you either come here to play for Arsenal or you don't. Simple. They're still linked with Gyökeres. Haven't seen anything come out of that. In fact, Gyökeres over the last week, I haven't really seen anything about Gyökeres over the last week or so. So that's been quite quiet. Zinchenko apparently is leaving for 10 million. That is such a that's a bad fee. I'm not going to lie. Zinchenko leaving for 10 million is quite poor. Let me just see. How old is Zinchenko? Obviously, I know they want to get him off of the wage bill, which is probably their prime concern. But for 10 million, that is poor, man. How much is he? Right, he's 28 years old. Surely you can get more than 10 million for him. You're not that desperate to sell him, are you? This is the problem with Arsenal. They're not very good They're not very good at selling their players. Not very good at all. One of the links that keep going through, obviously, well, one of the big ones, I don't know if this is a here we go moment. Maybe you can tell me in the chat, but Mosquera from Valencia, apparently you're linked to him. I don't know whether you've actually signed him yet. A young, highly promising centre-back. I saw a lot of Chelsea fans moaning that we let this market opportunity go. I've never heard of the player. I've never heard of the player, but apparently he's really highly rated. So see how that one goes. Obviously, it's still linked to that Joao Hato, one that Chelsea had been linked to previously. I haven't seen anything come back from the club on that. Although Arsenal fans have been talking about our links with him, I haven't seen anything. So let's see where that develops, whether he goes. Obviously, there's the Ajax link with Timber at the club. So you can see you might want to follow suit. Who knows? Big one that's been coming out over the last day or so is obviously the news that they've made contact with Eze's camp. Now, this could be a very good deal for Arsenal. I'm not going to lie. If you have Eze out on the left or even in the 10 sometimes and Saka, Martinelli, he's going to be a problem because he's a very good player. And we see that from Crystal Palace week in, week out. We see it play for England. This will be a very, very good deal, in my opinion. Don't know anything about what the initial fee could be, but did read something that he's got a release clause that could be paid in installments. So it's like the perfect deal. I think it was 60 million actually. So that's quite good for any club trying to sign him. 60 million paid out in installments. Who ain't going to take that opportunity? Especially Arsenal, who love doing Klarna. So, but little side note on that as well. Spurs are also interested. And that's it. That's all I'm going to say about that. Some other clubs out there. We had Bayer Leverkusen signing Kwanzaa for 30 million plus 5 mil add-ons. That is fucking crazy. I've never seen Kwanzaa have a good game. Never. And they've signed him for 30 million plus 5. So we know there was some FFP dodging going on there between Bayer Leverkusen and Liverpool. We ain't stupid, but it is what it is. They've signed him. Deal done. Manchester United. Wow, this club, there's not really much links. I'll be honest with you. Obviously, they're linked to Nkunku. Nothing concrete. There's not really many links of their players leaving when they should be. The managers should be leaving as well. They're linked to Zaire Emery, but I haven't seen anything since. I saw them linked to Diego Costa, the goalkeeper. Haven't seen anything since. The one that I did see this morning was they're now linked to Ollie Watkins. And that all depends on whether Rasmus Højlund leaves. So I'll be honest with you, very underwhelming for Manchester United. For a big club, they are falling. They continue to fall and they continue to fall. And that's what happens when you don't do well in the league. And when your club is run by idiots, money-hungry idiots, the stadium's falling apart. Obviously, they've got this new stadium they're supposedly building. It's not a very attractive place to go at the moment, is it? So I can understand why nothing's really happening. But who knows? Like I said, 1st of July tomorrow, it could all kick off and we could see loads of stuff coming from Manchester United. Who knows? Juventus, I read that they're looking to sign in Jadon Sancho by offering him 3 players to Manchester United in return. Those 3 players, didn't see. That was the headline. That was it. So that's a nothing bit of rumours. Sorry about that. I shouldn't even have said that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I shouldn't have said that. Now we go back to Liverpool now. Liverpool are doing a madness. They've signed Kirkes on a 40 million deal. That's a left back Kirkes. They've signed Wirtz. They've signed Frimpong on the other side. They've replaced their fullbacks. Konate's looking at leaving. His contract talks are not going to plan. He's demanding high wages. Obviously, Virgil and Salah got them high wages. Not quite sure why Konate is demanding that, but obviously he wants more. But they are looking serious, so I'm not going to lie. And them Isaac rumours are still not going away. Apparently, it's come out that he's turned around and said that he wants to leave Newcastle. Now, the person that was giving that out as a quote from Isaac is not very known for, being a reliable source. So whether or not that's true, we don't really know. But if these rumours don't go away and Liverpool do test Newcastle's nerve and they put in a massive bid for him, boy, That's the league done. I'll be honest with you, that is the league done. On the case of Newcastle, they made an offer for Anthony Elanga, for Nottingham Forest, which they rejected. I think it was a £40 million bid. They rejected it. But other than that, yeah, just looking at what I've got here, that's it. I haven't seen anything from City this week. Nothing from them at all. Haven't really seen anything else from any other club. I don't really know if anyone else has got any transfer news that's been going around surrounding their clubs. Let me know in the comments. But that's all I've got for today. But anyway, when's the next stream coming up? Let's have a look. We have got Club World Cup on, is it Wednesday? Thursday. No, hold on. When are we playing? When are we playing next? Oh, Saturday morning at 2 o'clock. Yeah, I might do that. I think I'm working in the morning, so I might not do that. I'll find out. But I could be online doing the live stream for the Club World Cup, Palmeiras versus Chelsea. I'll let you know. Stay tuned for it. Get your notifications on, because that will pop up as a scheduled stream anyway. So yeah, if you're watching, sorry I've rambled on for such a long time. Get in the comments. Let me know what you think about all the transfer news and the rumours surrounding your club, this club. Obviously, like I said, a lot of it is just nonsense. Don't get too excited until you know the deal is signed. Chelsea fans, let me know what you think about Gittens. Let me know what you think about Joao Pedro and what impact you think they're going to have on the team. Where you're going to think how you think they're going to fit into our system with our players already there. What players are going to be leaving? Let me know. And if you are a rival fan, let me know what's going on with your club, and we can discuss it on the next one. And if you want to jump on, let me know. We can do that as well. So I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Leave a like on the video and sub to the channel. Nice one.